Hello class, quickly we're going to create 3 invoices. So I'm going to go back to customers. We can do it also in the sales area. And it's, it really is up no problem either way you do it. I'm going to look here, let's see, where it says transactions, and here is sales. And then you go in and you create an invoice. I would prefer, since we're going to do it in this way and it makes it much more easy for you to get all the information you need, I'm going to do it from the customer screen. Right on the right hand side, mid part of your screen, you're going to see a little icon where it says create invoice. You can create any of these types of things. We want to create a statement, but before we create a statement, I want to first create the invoice. And we create the invoice, we will create a statement, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So let's first create an invoice. We're going to create an invoice for Mr. Bob Mason. And I'm going to put some information in here. Now again, the system is giving you a nice wonderful hint, and it says match to your business, which makes it so much easier for all of us because we don't have to create the products are already there within the system. So I'm going to click off that, and I'm just going to click on to products, and you can see this little drop down box. This particular software is a little bit quirky for me because instead of me just clicking onto it and selecting the item, it requires me to put something in the field. So I'm going to put a P here because I'm going to put in photography, and I'm going to accept that. Now in the description, I'm going to say 2 hours of or 2-hour photo shoot, 2-hour photo shoot. Again, he's a photographer, and this is what he does. So he's going to give the quantity is going to be 2. So I'm going to change this 1 to a 2. And the price that he charges for the photo shoot is going to be, I think it's $150 I'm going to use here. $150 per hour. So we're going to charge him $300. Now, underneath here is a message displayed on the invoice, and I'm going to put on here, thank you for your business. This is something he will see when the invoice. If you are sending a bill and you have to attach some documents, supporting documents for expenses. Suppose we created a 2-hour photo shoot, but we also had to deal with some parking costs and some other fees associated with this job, which they both agreed that will be charged. You can submit the supporting documentation to this the invoice to let him know not only are we charging you 4-hour photo shoot, but also you're going to reimburse us for some expenses that we incurred. But that doesn't happen in this case. We're just creating the invoice. The invoice looks good at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to click save. I'm not going to click save and send, because what I want to do really is I want to be able to save it and then print it out later. Now on the other part of the screen, use right in the middle of the screen here, it'll say print or preview, make recurring or customize. Now for example, this is not going to be a recurring item, and so we're going to just bill him once, and then hopefully within 30 days he'll pay us. The question then will be whether or not we want to print preview or we want to customize the invoice. I am very comfortable with how this invoice is created. I don't want anything different. I'm going to use this. I'm going to allow this date 1/15/2015 to remain, because it's not really important for demonstration purposes how it is the invoice date. The main thing is you know how to create an invoice, and based on that we're going to preview to see what it looks like. And this is going to be an important step because you're going to have to demonstrate that you've created these invoices. So the print preview process is going to be important for you, because this is what you're going to download to me and get invoiced or get graded. So this is what the invoice looks like. It's pretty straightforward. You can make this organization look far more creative than this, but we're doing it for school purposes. So depending on your capabilities, your technology at home, here is the invoice that we just created. This is your proof that you've created it. You can do one of two things. You can print it and scan it to me and upload it as a scanned copy. You can print it to a PDF, or you can save it. And let me see what the options we have when we say save. Let's see what it gives us. Very good. When I click on save, it's going to click on a save to Adobe Acrobat. And I think you may be able to do the same. But if in the event that you're not able to do so, don't worry. The next step then is to print it. And I'm going to click on the print button here. And instead of me putting it into a PDF, I will print it onto my paper, and I will be able to scan it. Either way works, but we'll go over the details of how to upload your assignments in a different tutorial. The main point is you can use this information, you can put the data into the system, and you can create an output for the information that you put in. And as far as how you print it or download it, we're going to talk about how to download in a later session. I'm going to click out of here because I really don't need to print, and I'm going to save and send. Let's see what happens when we save and send. Now, this is what happens when you save and send. And again, it is going to go to him on his email, and it's going to be at the bottom of this invoice. It's going to go to this point here, and we're going to close. Now we know that this is not going to go to him really, because there is no such thing as a Bob so-and-so, but you understand the process. Okay, now we're going to create another invoice for Timothy Fing. We're going to do the same thing, but this time Timothy Fing is going to have more than one service. Don't worry about the dates at this point. Let's just go through how to input the information. So again, we're going to have Mr. Fing, and he's going to have equipment rental. He's going to rental of let's see, camera. And to rent it, it's going to be $50 a month. So he's going to rent it for 5 months. I'm going to put a 5 here, excuse me. And I'm going to charge him 50 bucks. Excuse me, I'm going to change that. 50 bucks. That's the first fee. The second item I'm going to charge him for, not on the photography services, I'm going to charge him a travel fee. And a travel fee is going to be, let me do this correctly because it's very quirky. I'm going to click on the T, and I'm going to click on the travel fee, because we have to, so travel fee for rental, pickup, and delivery. Now all the details is a one-time only fee of $50, and now we have a $300 invoice to him. Now, as we went through before, we can print or preview. I'm going to preview it so you can take a look at it again. They save the invoice, as you can see, and here's my invoice, a printout of it. And again, depending on your capabilities, you can print this out and scan it to me and upload the document as your gradable output, or you can save it as a PDF file and send it to me. And if you prefer to do it as a download, we will go through the exporting process, and you can export it into a software and then upload that file to me. It really doesn't matter, but it's good to know that you can do this. So I'm not going to print this, nor am I going to save it. I just want to show you how it's done. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to save. Click on here. I'm going to click on save and close so we can get out. But the document is saved, everything is wonderful, and eventually we will get payments. But right now I'm going to do one more invoice before we stop. Create an invoice for Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez has just got married, and he is using the photography services for his wedding. So he's going to be billed quite a bit of things. One, he's going to be billed for the photographer himself, and that's his time. And for the wedding on, I'm going to say the wedding was on December the 31st, 2014. And he spent 6 hours at that wedding. And he's going to be charged $300 an hour. This is a wedding. Also, he's going to be charged for the pictures and the output that he provides. But first thing is we want to do the retouching, because we want to make certain that the wedding pictures look good. And the retouching service is not a huge fee, but for a wedding it's going to be a little bit more, but it's $150 he's going to be charged for that service. And finally, he's going to be charged for the actual pictures or the services. And if you could create a new chart of account item, I'm not requiring you to do that. I'm going to say sales here because this is the actual output that he's going to be giving us. And this is going to be wedding photos. And they're going to charge us, and we are going to have copies for not only the wedding party, but also for the family. So we're going to have 5 quantities of that, of the pictures, and we're charging a flat fee. So I'm going to skip over to that, and that's going to be $2,500. Again, these are going to be wedding pictures, and we are going to charge him a flat fee. Now, the system is automatically calculating a rate, but we're not really charging him a rate. We're just charging him a fee, and the system just using the mathematical. This message to be delivered on the invoice is going to say, congratulations on your wedding. Thank you for your business. And that's it. And now that we already know, if this particular wedding package required a reimbursement for him, he could attach supporting documents that would, explain what he paid for and the cost that he incurred so they get reimbursed. But nevertheless, it's not necessary. We already know how to preview, so what we're going to do is save and close. So now we have created 3 invoices, and the next step will be applying payments. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.